Well, the venerable Nielsen ratings are the benchmark by which broadcasters negotiate ad rates with advertisers. But Nielsen has struggled in recent years to keep up with the ever-changing viewing habits. Now it says adding Facebook will help measure those elusive viewers that advertisers crave.
Screens everywhere. And Nielsen wants to make sure it's counting you, whether you watch on TV, online, or on your mobile device.
Twitter and Nielsen are working together to create a new type of TV rating.
Nielsen first turned to social media 3 years ago by including Twitter buzz during live TV, like tracking the devoted followers of ABC's The Bachelor.
I'm willing to do whatever it takes to find love.
And so is Nielsen. So now they're going beyond Twitter to include Facebook and Instagram in their audience measurement. The idea is to monitor the buzz to get a better count of those who don't watch live TV.
Maybe you can get a feel for who's going to watch it on demand later, and that's almost more important now than that appointment-based viewing. That's sort of the old model.
If Nielsen's new methodology works, audience numbers should be more accurate. But broadcasters might not necessarily be happy with the result.
In all my years in broadcasting, I have never worked for somebody in the ratings department who, traffic and whatever they call it, that was happy with the ratings, unless they were, a runaway #1, for extended period of time, because everybody always complains that the methodology is flawed. It may vary a little bit. I don't know, short of measuring everybody's single TV set or having a chip put in every person, and you never get it exactly right. However, I do think they're onto something with this, that there's two things. Twitter often happens to be people that are watching live TV. So they're creating a conversation there. Facebook, it's more subject matter, the day after or a couple hours after. But still, they want to know how informed people are. Are they just talking about Downton Abbey, or can you tell by the conversation that they actually watched it? I think they've already started to, if not totally solved, the DVR issue, because they can now tell when somebody has time shifted, which is a big issue, especially for programming like ours, like this show, Greater Boston. There's a lot of time shifting that goes on. So, I want to see them get it right. I think everybody does.
Yeah, I agree. And it certainly makes all the sense in the world to try to capture what's going on social media to come up with the most accurate numbers possible. What I'm a little bit concerned about is that we're going to see what's happened with newspapers, where the Alliance for Audited Media wanted to try to capture paid digital in addition to paid print. And they've used this methodology that's just bizarre. People are sometimes counted 2 or even 3 times. And I think, and so you've got this inflation going on in the paid newspaper reader count that really everybody knows it, but nobody knows what to do about it. I think you may end up with the same thing here. Oh, you're watching it on TV? You watched it once. Oh, you talked about it on Facebook? You watched it twice. Yeah. And you're still only talking about one viewer.
True.
I think there's a couple of issues. First of all, I hate Facebook for always changing the rules about how they gather private conversations. So this is, just to be clear, these are private conversations they're going to be delving into, which makes me crazy. On the other hand, social media with regard to Twitter, I'm always amazed about a couple of things, and we saw a little bit of that as they showed us how many people were on Twitter, how many people were watching certain programs. It's always smaller than you think, because sometimes the power of it can be amazing. So I'm thinking about Thursday night on ABC, TGIT, that's Shonda Rhimes' Thursday. She literally, because of Twitter, owns that night, because she's on, the whole cast is on, there's a robust conversation. I have to make sure I'm not anywhere near it, because I tape it and I don't want you to tell me until I get ready to watch it. But it's been amazing. So if they weren't capturing that, they lost a lot in understanding who was watching in real time. And then, much as I hate how they're doing it for Facebook, who then is talking about it later. And by the way, my feeling is if you're on Facebook talking about Downton Abbey, you know something about it. You're not on there just, hey, who's that dowager again? No. Anyway.
Yeah, I think this is part of a larger competition about this shift to digital. And there's a sense in which this is a transitional problem. Like, who knows a lot about the viewing habits of their customers? Netflix. Because you're getting it directly from Netflix. They know exactly when you started the program, whether you got 5 minutes in, whether you got all the way through, whether you went back to restart it again, whether you binge watched the whole thing. As we see this transition from over the air and over cable distribution to direct over the internet distribution, we're going to see a different kind of data, and that data is going to be reported by the people who gather it. We had an interesting incident about a week ago where NBC claimed to have uncovered how many viewers Netflix programs actually had. They used a terrible methodology that I would not trust at all, but Netflix doesn't have to please advertisers, and they have this data that is better than everyone else's, and they get to keep it all to themselves. So I think Netflix is really trying, or excuse me, Nielsen's trying to play this game. One other thing we saw this week was Facebook announced something called Facebook Stadium, which is an attempt to create a live sports watching experience inside Facebook. You know, because every time I watch a Saints game on Sunday, you know, it'll be a while until I watch another one. I'm there with Twitter. That social media live television interaction is really crucial for everyone to figure out.
All I can find on Facebook is happy birthday, which is like, I mean, it's got to end.
Wait, just birthday well wishes. You had a birthday
Everybody.
recently. Happy birthday.
Everybody does.
Happy birthday.
That's all anybody does now. It's like grown adults. It's like you're out of your mind.
I want anyone else to have a birthday on the panel in the near future?
No.
I think
hope
we need
so.
to maybe clarify just a couple things. My sense, and tell me if I'm wrong, you've corrected me on air before, and sometimes I need it, usually I need it, but they're looking not only to measure total viewers, but also the way people interact with these programs. And that's worth stressing. It's sort of the intensity of your engagement. And they don't really know, as I read about this, how they're going to use this metric. They come up with this new social thing that includes Facebook and Twitter. What's it going to be? How much heft is it going to have? And are advertisers even going to care?
Oh, they will care because, they will because I think they will. If they're really engaged with The Bachelor or something else, they're going to say, these are people that don't just have the TV on, they're watching it.
Watching it and talking about it.
Which makes difference in terms of the advertising.
The other thing that I think we should highlight with Facebook, and I have your same reaction, Facebook, even if you want to make it private, you can't make it private. You've made a devil's bargain by getting on it. If I understand correctly, Facebook is going to be monitoring the private, whether they're public conversations or private conversations people are having. They'll be keeping track, sort of like the metadata that we talked about when Edward Snowden had his leakages. Facebook will be providing metadata, not the content of the private conversations.
That's what they say.
Exactly.
Right, that's what they say. That's the claim.
All right.
Yeah, and I don't trust
Good summary, Adam.